guys, welcome to another video where we are looking into fundamental analysis. In the previous video, we sort of had an introduction about fundamental analysis. We saw the difference between technical analysis and fundamental analysis, also difference between investing and trading. In this video, we will be looking into the factors that you need to consider before investing into a stock. So I've divided fundamental analysis into three parts. The first part would be the surface analysis, as in a hawk-eye view of a stock, so that you can see overall how the company looks before jumping into the financial statements and the small details of that company. So let's begin with the surface analysis. The first thing that you really need to consider is sector. For example, take ITC. ITC falls into the FMCG sector. FMCG has stocks like Hindustan Unilever, Nestle, Marico. These are really good companies, but ITC's fundamentals are even more stronger than these companies. Still, the stock price of ITC is down. The reason behind that is that ITC not only falls into the FMCG category, but also falls into the tobacco category, and tobacco is considered to be sort of a negative sector because there are tax implications which are being put by the government, which is continuously changing, the rules that are continuously changing, and there is a huge impact of this into ITC, and that is the reason why, being so much strong with its fundamentals, ITC still has difficulties in the stock price rising. Let's take another example of Indigo. Indigo falls into the aviation sector. The aviation sector was not performing good during the COVID times because there were no sales. The flights were not taking off for them. So obviously the prices were really down. That particular sector would be down in that time. You know that aviation sector would resume someday. So that was a very good time to invest in the aviation sector because you got shares of Indigo or SpiceJet at dirt cheap price. Next would be the rivals. Let's take the banking sector now and consider you were planning to invest in a stock like RBL Bank. Now RBL Bank would have rivals like HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank, Kotak Bank, ICICI Bank. These are huge banks, and for RBL to come at that level, it would really take a long time. Also considering the fact that these are such strong banks, they will always have an upper hand over smaller banks. So you should also consider how it is performing in compared to its rivals. Next, the promoters of the company. Take for example Titan. Titan has a very popular name behind it, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is definitely a promoter of that company. If a stock is backed by really popular promoters, it is an indication that that stock is a very good stock. If you take companies like Reliance Capital, Reliance Infrastructure, Reliance Power, Reliance Communication, these stocks have been hit by 97% because it has Anil Ambani as his promoters, and Anil Ambani is not known as a good promoter for any stock, and any stock that is promoted by Anil Ambani doesn't really do good. So the promoters is also a very important factor. The next thing that we should look into is promoters' pledged holdings. How much of the holding of the promoter is pledged? So pledged basically means that when you're taking a loan or something from someone, you can pledge your house, as in if you're not able to pay that loan, the bank would seize your house. Pledged promoter holdings is not a very good thing, and you should make sure that the pledged holdings are almost negligible, or in fact if there are no pledged holdings, that would be even better. Next would be if there are any legal cases going with that company. For example, take Reliance Communication or Jet Airways or even Yes Bank. These companies had a lot of legal cases going on, and that is the reason why the stock prices were going sharply down of these stocks. And there are people who are uneducated about the stock market, and then they are like, oh, this is such a known brand, and the prices are falling, we should definitely buy at this point. You do not know if the company would come back, which would really take a lot of time, even if it comes back at one point. And there are huge chances that the company would eventually shut off. So it is not a very good idea to invest in companies that have legal cases going on. And that is one of the primary reasons why you should learn about stock markets, because such people invest in stocks and then they lose their money, and they go ahead and tell that stock market is a scam and you shouldn't put your money in stock market. No, you gotta have knowledge about stock markets. The last would be delisting. If the company is being delisted not voluntarily, but it is delisted by the stock exchange or SEBI, it is not a good thing, right? And you should not invest in companies that are being delisted. But if a company is taking voluntary delisting, then it wouldn't matter if you invest in the stock, but you shouldn't consider it as investing, because it would sort of be like trading. Because when a company is being delisted voluntarily, that is, the company wants to delist itself from the stock exchange, so the company would buy back its shares from you, and there is a good chance that the company would buy its shares back at a higher price. So this was about the surface analysis. These are the things that you need to look into before jumping into the financial statements or the ratios, the very critical aspects. Now that we know about the surface analysis, we'll look into the financial analysis. Financial analysis would contain statements like balance sheets, cash flow statements, etc., and ratios like PE ratio, PB ratio, etc. And we will look into these more detailed analysis in the upcoming videos. Last but not the least is the cost of the stock. And for this, I have dedicated an entire section of technical analysis for this. You can look into the charts and your indicators to know if the price of a particular stock is high at this point or low at this point, or is it a good time to enter the stock. With this, I'll come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and in the upcoming videos, we will learn a lot more in detail. Till then, keep watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye.